eligible. So I'll be anchoring today's discussion, and our topic for today is property management. Know your regulatory agencies. So last week we started our discussion on this particular topic, and we talked about various institutions established by different laws and how they affect or they regulate the property transaction in Nigeria. And we are focusing on property management company, though there are other aspects of property transactions. But our focus mainly for this session, again, just like last week, is property management company. So we can also get to discuss other areas of property transactions in subsequent editions. So today we'll be looking at a very special area. We talked about last time that we'll be looking at the general aspect, while today we'll be looking at specific agencies that regulate property transaction, that is majorly property management. So today we'll be looking at a very few of them, just to ensure that we minimize time that we spend here, so that we can go on to do other transactions. Now, first thing we'll be looking at today, the first body we're looking at is Estate Rents and Commission Agents Association of Nigeria, ECAN. Estate Rents and Commission Agents Association of Nigeria, ECAN. Now, this is a body that regulates all real estate agents in Nigeria. Now, as a property management company, you are managing the property on behalf of a property owner. You are acting as a property owner's agent, so you also fall under this category in a way. Now, you're also acting on behalf of a tenant. Now, although it is the property owner that hired you, you are acting in the best interest of both parties. That is, you act as a middleman for both parties. Now, as one who operates a property management company and you act as an agent, you take commissions. As long as you are taking commissions for the transaction you are doing, you fall under this category. So you are bound to be a member of this body. Now, this body is open to almost everybody. It doesn't require specific qualification for you to be a member. It does not say you need to have a doctorate degree or you need to be a professor of property transaction before you can be a member. It does not also say that you need to be a very qualified person. Let's say they used to BSc, HND or NC, nothing like that. As far as you want to, you have the zeal to do property transaction and your aim is to make profits as an agent, you get commission when you connect a property owner with his prospective tenant. You get commission for that. So for you to operate in this sector, I know there are so many persons who are into property management, that is agencies, agents. When it comes to individual, there are also corporate bodies who act as agents as well. Now, if you want to be a professional, that is a person that is well recognized, you need to be a member of this body. Even though you have been doing the practice as an agent or as a corporate body who acts as a manager of properties, you need to be a member of this body to be fully recognized, both as someone who deals professionally and someone who is ethical. Now, there are persons who often go about doing property transaction without applying some level of professionalism. Now, if you are a member of this particular body, you are taught what you need to do as an agent. When there is a conflict, let's say, for instance, the tenant is arguing that he has paid certain bills which is required of him or her to pay on the property, and there's a dispute between you both. They all often give you guidelines on how you can go all about this without having to resort to court or resorting to self-help. So it's when you are a member of this professional body, there are certain standards that you are required to meet as a professional. So you must be ethical in your in performing your own duty. When you fall short of that, they are likely to deregister you or demember you. So you must be able to act as a professional when you are dealing with persons in relation to any property that is under your management. Now, this body, they have different persons who come in. It's not discriminatory. You doesn't have to say you need to be a man or a woman before you can be a member. As long as you are one who is very much interested in performance of your duty as a real estate agent, then you can be a member of this particular body. Now, this body was set up in 1991. They have guidelines that was established. This particular body, that's their own guidelines regulating the activities of real estate agents who earns commission. Now, if you fall under this category and you have failed to apply the guidelines that they have set out, they can always met the necessary punishment on you. So therefore, you must ensure that you know the guidelines. What are the things that are required of me as an agent who earns commission for a job that I do? Then you must follow their guidelines in order to enjoy that coverage. Now, another thing that you enjoy being a member of this particular body is they give you ID cards. That gives you a sense of membership, not just one who has no disrespect to persons who operate shops and say that they are agents. You don't have any corporate body, you don't belong to any corporate organizations. They are just there doing their own thing out there. But when you belong to a particular body, when a client is asking, okay, may I have your complimentary card, ID card or something, you always have something to present to them that shows that, okay, this person has some level of dignity, has some level of that respect, that, okay, let me accord this person that particular respect. Because it is when they see that, okay, this person is a professional, that clients are more inclined to give you the necessary respect that you deserve. When you don't show all of these things to them, they are likely to say, oh, is it not just an agent? But when they see that you are a member of a professional body, they accord you a higher respect that they would have given you when they don't see you in that particular level. Then another one that you also need to look at is the Real Estate Developers Association of Nigeria, REDAN. Now, as a property manager, you decide to grow your business. You don't want to stop at being a main manager of property. You have managed people's property for a very long time and you have made some profits. You too, you now want to be a property owner, or you want to grow into a proper real estate company that is one that develops property and sells, also give out to other persons as well. At least you are not just one who manages other people's property. Now you now have your own property. Now, if you are going to be grow someday into that category that owns a real estate company, then you need to be a member of this particular body. Now, one thing you need to do to be a member of this particular body, you must have a registered company. Now, if at the point of registration of your company, your objects as the object clause of your business then was just strictly management of property, then you may need to update your object clause. You know, when you are registering a business with the CAC, there is always a column called object of business. So that is where you state out, okay, this is what I want to do while I am in this business. You set all of them out there. Now, what you now have to do is to update it. You have to now include development and sale of property as part of your object. Once you have done that, you now approach the body, then they will register you to be a member. Now, there is an application fee that you are expected to pay. Now, upon payment of that fee, it is determined by the body. It may change from time to time. What may be payable this year may be different from next year, or what was paid 5 years ago may be different from what is expected to be paid this year. So I cannot give you a very fixed price that this is what it must always be. Everything is subject to change. So there is one thing that is constant, that is change. So the amount that you may find today may be different for what you'll find tomorrow, but you need to first apply to this body to be registered. Now, one of the things that you must have is that certificate of registration. You must also have a verifiable address, and there should be at least a director in that company that is going to make that presentation to the body. Now, if you are a real estate development company, that is, you have grown from management company to a real estate developer, and you fail to be a member of this body, there are penalties that you are likely to face. So in order to avoid even getting into that space where you will need to face penalties or be in default, you need to pay the necessary fees and be a member. Now, once you are registered, you'll be given a certificate of membership. Now, that entitles you to deal with real estate transaction in the whole of the federation. Now, when you are issued a license or a certificate, as the case may be, it does not limit you to a particular state. It gives you the right to transact all over Nigeria, unlike some other agencies that are limited to a particular state, which we'll be seeing in the course of this discussion. Now, this one entitles you to go around the whole of the federation. If you go into a new state and someone challenges you on your right to participate in this particular industry, that's the real estate sector, you can present your certificate of registration with the CAC and the license or certificate that was issued to you by this Real Estate Developers Association of Nigeria. Once you have that, you can go to anywhere, present it, and you'll be accorded your due respect. Now, this license or certificate that may be given to you as a practitioner in this real estate development sector, it does not mean it is total, that is, it does not mean it is eternal. You need to renew it. It's like a subscription. There is a yearly subscription, let me call it subscription, a yearly subscription fee that you pay to show that you are still a member of the body. Now, as a professional, I'm a lawyer, we pay professional fee every year, practicing fee. Every year, a lawyer is expected to pay a certain fee depending on the year of practice of that particular lawyer. So if you have been a lawyer, let's say for 20 years, and you have only paid for 5 years after you were called, for the last or the next 15 years you did not pay, you will not have right of audience in court. When they call your matter, you will not be heard. So you must ensure that you pay the necessary subscription fees to the association in order to continue to act as a real estate company. Now, if you fail to pay that subscription fee, it means you are not a member automatically, and if there is any action that is brought against you, one benefit of being a member of a professional body, you always have that solidarity. When you are having any challenge in your business, you have persons who can always say, okay, this is our member, what is the situation? Let us see how we can help this person to come out from this particular situation that the person has found his or herself. So you must ensure that you are a member of this particular body. Now, assuming you decided not to be a member of this body and something happens, you decide to say, I'm a real estate developer, and you want to identify with the body when you now have challenge, they won't listen to you. So you must be a member when everything is still rosy, before they can assist you when things become difficult at the point. That's not what we hope for anyways, but it's just precautionary. Now, if you fail to register with them, or you fail to pay your subscription fee, is annual. If you have paid this year, it means by this time next year you are expected to pay another fee for the next year. So it's not something you pay this year, you now go to bed and rest and say, oh, I have paid, I'm a registered member, I've been given a certificate. It can be withdrawn for failure to be a financial member. For every organization you belong to, or association you belong to, you must also be a financial member of that body. Without finance, there's no corporate body that can function. It's just like our normal daily life. Without having the necessary finances, there's no way we can get the things that we need to get as a person. Now, another one we'll also be looking at, this one applies solely to Lagos State. You know, I told you earlier there are some corporate bodies that are limited to a state, and there are some that are general. Now, this one we'll be looking at now is Real Estate Regulatory Authority. Now, this Lagos State Real Estate Regulatory Authority applies solely to Lagos State. Now, the last time when we were discussing the regulatory laws, we talked about Lagos State Real Estate Regulatory Laws, and that particular law was enacted. Now, for this purpose, for the implementation of that particular law, they had to create a body that will ensure that there is compliance with the laws that are set out in that particular document regulating real estate transaction. Now, another thing you need to know in this regard is, despite the fact that you have registered with Redan or you have registered with ECAN, you have obtained necessary certificates for you to operate as a real estate practitioner in Lagos State, either as an individual or a corporate body, you must be registered with this regulatory authority. Now, you need to, if you are applying as an individual, there are certain documents you are required to present. We talked about this when we were reviewing the major highlights on the Lagos State Real Estate Regulatory Law. Now, you can check out that video to know what you'll be required to present when it comes to obtaining necessary license. Now, there are things that are set out for you to present as a real estate practitioner, as an individual, and there are some that are also set out as a corporate body, depending on how you are coming. Now that we are discussing a property management company, you need to pay the necessary fees to this regulatory body. Now, they will give you a license upon fulfillment of the conditions that are set out in that regulatory law. Now, if you have met those conditions and they have inspected and found you worthy to be issued a license, they will give you a license, and that license lasts for a period of 1 year. Now, just like we talked about Redan, that requires you to pay a subscription fee every year, you also need to obtain the necessary license, that is renewal. Now, let's say you registered this year and you proceeded to renew or get the license from this regulatory authority, Lagos State Real Estate Regulatory Authority. You have obtained the license from them. You also need to renew them by this time next year. Now, you need to give them notice. You don't have to wait until the license expires. If you allow the license to expire, it means you have to go through the process again of verification. Now, you need to apply a few weeks before the expiration of the license. Let's say the license will expire on the 31st of this month, then you must apply at least 2 weeks before, or 2 months, depending on the changes. The agency has right to review all of this procedure you have to go through from time to time. Now, they also have to prescribe the fees that are payable. Now, at the moment, there is no specific amount that I have seen that shows that this is what you have to pay. However, when you are renewing the license, there are certain procedures you also go through. They also tell you that this is what you can pay to obtain the license. Now, failure to register, there are penalties that you are going to pay. If as a company you fail to get the necessary license, there are penalties you will pay, and it's very severe. You don't want to have your hard-earned money spending it on payment of penalties just because you fail to do what would have cost you less. So you must ensure that you visit the regulatory agency and see that you comply with whatever you'll be requiring of you at a particular point in time. Now, if you had the license and you fail to renew it, there's a penalty that is also there. It's specified. Just take your time to look at that video. Watch it. Is just a 30 minutes video. You look at the files that are required, the things that you must file with them, and the fee that you need to pay, or the default fees that are also there. You also get to know all of that. Then another one you also have is the Rent Control Tribunal. Now, I told you we are going to be looking at the specifics. We talked about court last week. Now we are talking about rent tribunals. Now, every state has its rent tribunals, and the goal of this rent tribunal is to ensure that tenants and their landlords or the property manager they maintain friendship even after they had differences as a result of different issues that arose in the course of the tenancy. Now, the thing is, you need to maintain friendship. You don't know when you'll be needing the person to do certain thing for you in the near future. So it's better, no matter how bad someone may have treated you, you also need to find a way to resolve the dispute in a very amicable manner. Now, it costs you more to go to court than to visit the rent tribunal. There, they employ different persons who sit, they hear both sides of the story and advise on how best you can have this thing resolved, and everybody goes home happy. Now, this is what this rent control tribunal does. They don't go about giving judgments that will make the relationship to strain further. No, they try to find a way around it to see that, okay, Mr. A, who is the landlord, is happy, Mr. B, the property manager, is happy, and Mr. C, who is a tenant, is also happy at the end of the day. That is their own aim. So this is how far we can go today. For you to continue to enjoy that space as a property manager, you need to comply with everything that the regulatory agencies require of you at every point in time. You must ensure that you don't resort to self-help. It is very important. Some persons, because they want to please their property owner, they tend to resort to self-help to evict tenants from the property. And some persons, they don't take time to do due diligence either on the landlord or the tenants. This also leads to conflict at the end of the day. So avoid all of this. You need to go to the relevant places where you need to do your due diligence. You need to do due diligence on both your intended tenants and the property manager, and this helps you to maintain that reputation that people will respect at every point in time. Follow us on all our social media platforms, and you continue to enjoy all our live